Hello everyone. Hello Android. So in this session, I will introduce Android Studio for you. Android Studio is the IDE, Integrated Development Environment, which is recommended by Google for doing Android development. Basically, even we can use Eclipse for doing Android development. But with the recent developments in Android Studio, which provides various other options which will slowly get introduced too. So because of those reasons, it is recommended to use Android Studio for doing Android development, native Android development. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so if uh, if you are going to create your first Hello World app, you have to set up your development environment and set up Android Studio. So it's not that difficult process. It's actually speaking quite simple. So you can directly go to yeah, developer.android.com. If you just go there, you can actually download the Android Studio version. So Android Studio is an open source and it's free, open source as well as it's free. So you can the Android Studio is available on all the major platforms. It is available for Windows, Mac as well as for Linux. So you can just go there and then just download the studio. I just recorded a video for Windows. Let me just open this. So if you just download, of course it is close to a GB. It varies based on the platform, but it's a pretty simple process. You just you just have to click next and then it's done. It's as simple as that. So once you are done with it, then you can straight away start the project. So I can show you. So this is it will just download the components apart from whatever the basic exe for Windows and subsequently for other things, and then you're now can start a new project. I've already downloaded the project. Let me actually open a new project. So here, so this is just a new project. In this new project, select a location. Just selected a location. So here, if you just see, this is the application name and this is the domain and this is the project location. We'll see in detail about all the other things. Actually, when it comes to Android, a native development can be done using different languages. One is Java, which is like most of the people aware about it, and recently a year or two back, Google has provided another language called Kotlin. It's not Google has provided. Google has started supporting another language for Android development, that's Kotlin. And we also there is also something called as NDK, which is native development kit. So we can also develop using C++ as well. So it's more like the basic libraries, the core libraries of Android or developed using C++. But in general, even now most of them are using Java for Android development. But if you are starting from scratch, if you are starting a project from scratch, it is always recommended to start using Kotlin because that's what is recommended by Google. Not just that, it has various other benefits if you are going to use Kotlin. We'll slowly see what are the benefits you will get if at all you start using Kotlin. So okay, I just clicked on next. If you just see, there is something called as target Android devices. So here, if you just see here, you have the various platform in which we can make our application available. So here, phone and tablets, this generally used. Even we can have Wear, Android TV, Android Auto, and Android Things. To start with, we'll just go with phone and tablet. We'll also explore all the other platforms in the later sessions. So here, if you just see, okay, so I'll just quickly, of course this will be covered in another session, but I'll just quickly touch upon what is this API 14 and Android 4.0, something of that sort. So this, if you just see, there are different ways in which a particular flavor of Android is identified. One is like based on API, in the sense for every update, for every version of Android, there will be an API which will be the identifier of a particular version. And currently, the latest one is API 29, which is Q actually. And so to give another brief story, the whole flavors of Android or updates of the subsequent versions of Android are named alphabetically. So it started with A, and the latest version is Q. Of course, along with having the alphabet, Google also define what it is, as in they always assign a suite or a suite name to that particular version. So the for P they have named it as Pi. That's the latest named one. We also have Q now. Okay, the Q is not named. That's actually trickier. Finding a sweet name starts with Q. We also have to figure out what are the list of sweets, which sweets or chocolate names which starts with Q. Let's see. That's a kind of a homework which we can do after this session. So if you just other the previous versions are Oreo, Nova, Marshmallow. Okay, so when you are what do meant by target devices is these are the devices, like by default phone and tablet will be selected. If at all we want to target other devices also, we can select that other devices. So if you just see, we have to select the minimum SDK version which we are planning to support. So here it will also show how many devices which will get supported if at all we are going to use whatever API. For example, by default API 16 is getting selected, which is starting from Jelly Bean. The devices will be supported. API 16 and it's more like almost 99.6% of the devices will be supported by doing this. Of course, we can also, if you just see, we can also go to the minimum version which is supported by the current Android Studio is API 14. Actually, we can also target API 1. From API 1 we can actually support the devices, but it's now more like no one is using those devices. That's the reason if I just select API 14, you can see approximately 100 almost all the devices are covered. Of course, if we go for the older versions, the complexity of the programming will also get slightly complicated, because the way we have to program for the latest version and the way we have to program for the older version may vary slightly based on the situation. So I will go with API 16, whatever is the default. I'm just clicking next. So Android provides default ways of creating the for example, I'm going with the empty activity, but there are different other action. For example, if the app is using maps, maybe we can go with the Google Maps activity. If you just select that particular activity, then it will provide some default classes created, which will make our life easy. That's it. You can explore different you know default activities which are there. I am going ahead with empty activity, clicking on next. If you just see, so there are two things which are kind of basic things which are required for an app to run. One is nothing but the activity. At least we should have only at least one activity and one layout defined. Of course, layout is this is not mandatory, but that's how obviously, right? If at all you're going to have an app, you should have a one entry point. Whatever, if you're using a Java point, we'll be using main class wherein we'll give the entry point, right? When it comes to Android, you have to give an entry point through one activity. We'll go into the details of what is mean by activity, what are the different Android components in the next session. For now, I'll just give a before. If activity is nothing but in a simpler thing, at least we need at least one activity, so that that activity can act as an entry point for the app to start. Okay, we need to provide at least we need to have at least one activity and at least one entry point for the app to function. And for this particular activity, here we are just defining a layout, the view. So the activity we will be using Java or Kotlin language to define it. When it comes to layout, the layout will be in XML format. Okay, I'm just clicking on finish. It's just taking time. Okay. So Gradle, right? The Gradle is building now. The Gradle is the build system which is used in Android Studio. We'll also get into the details in the subsequent sessions. Let me go into the presentation. So that's what we just created a new project. We can run it in the emulator. Meaning of emulator is AVD. AVD is Android virtual device. So we don't have to use our own mobile phones to test. Of course, it is kind of recommended so that we'll get a real experience. But we can also use emulator to test our application. Of course, it's difficult for us to have different set of devices to test everything. So emulator in that sense helps us and makes our life easy. Okay, so and then if you just run the event, then you have the project ready and then everything is done. Let me just do one thing. 1 minute, just minimizing this. Okay, so this is the project which got created. We just see because I have selected include Kotlin support. The default class which got generated, main activity, the language which is used is Kotlin. Okay, so I'm just giving just giving a picture about what the structure is. So there are three main folders. If you just see, you have manifest, Java, and then res. Okay, manifest, you have Android manifest. Android manifest is more like a blueprint, or more like it will kind of give a picture about what the project about. So if you just see here there are no permission here. So when it comes to permissions will be defined here, and permission as in if at all your app requires internet permission, if at all your app require access to the context or access to the external storage. So those permissions has to be listed here. Apart from this, you will define what is the app icon and what is the app name, what are the activities used, what are the services used. Will quickly touch upon the other Android components like services, broadcast, receivers. All those things will be defined in Android manifest. Even we will define, if you just see here, this is this particular line of code indicates that this is the launcher activity. So it is also in the manifest only we'll define which will be which activity will act as an entry point to the app. Okay, that's all about manifest. If I just go to the Java, you have, if you just see this is the package name which we have given when we created the application. So there you will find this main activity class file, where here by default what has happened is we'll see the life cycle. This is something called as life cycle event on create. Okay, like in the sense here it is event driven. The complete it will not happen sequentially, but rather it is based on whatever the event has occurred. So we have a life cycle. Meaning of life cycle is whenever you are opening an app's, series of events will occur. For example, when you are opening an app, it'll start a first event which will get called as on create. After that, on start will get called, and on resume, then the app will get open. Okay, so similarly we will be having the subsequent call when you are closing the app as well. So it will go to on post mode first, and then on stop, and then it will go to on destroy mode. So we can also use these callbacks to define we can override and define our own functionality. So here if you just see here, we have overridden the on create method, and then what we did is we attached the layout. Layout is nothing but the view. So if you remember, when we are creating this dummy project, we have given the activity name as main activity. That's the default one as well, and then the layout name was activity underscore main. Okay, so the layouts, if you just I have mentioned it, there are 3 folders: manifest, Java, and res. The layouts will reside on res. Res is nothing but resources. So in layout, if you just see activity underscore main, here is the layout. There are actually, layout has 2 views. If you just see here, you have design and then text. Here if I just clicked on design, so actually speaking, you can use any of the views. Using design also you can create. For example, if I just want to create a button, I can just drag a button, keep it here. It's as simple as that. In your view, the button got created. So if you just see text, I can also use this text in the sense programmatically also I can define the views. So there are 2 ways in which we can define the views. And another important thing is, it is not mandatory to use the layouts, the XMLs for the views. Even programmatically in Java files we can create the views. Okay, so I'll just complete the resources. Here we have drawables. Drawables are nothing but the icons, or the images whichever we are using in the app. All those things we'll keep in the folder drawable. Mipmap is also for the images, but it is just for launcher images. We'll keep here. This is app icons. So the app icons we'll keep in Mipmap. All the other drawables will be here. And then we have values. Values are there are different other things as well. The basic things are colors, strings, and styles. Colors is like we'll be defining all the, these are the primary colors which is by default defined. Apart from that, we can also define our own colors for based on the need for a button or text, whichever you want to. And here we have string variables. All the strings variables will be defined here. Here we can, if at all we want to support different other languages, we will use strings variables. That will go deeper into it in the subsequent sessions. Also, we have styles. We have different themes. For each activity we can have a different theme, and for button and for different other things, if you want to customize or if you want to use the different themes provided by Android, we can use styles. All right, apart from that, we also have, as part of in the Java folder, we have tests. So the unit tests, here, there are different tests we can write. JUnit test cases, and for UI testing we will be writing espresso test cases. So those things will go in these places. Okay, so that's a brief thing about it. I think I have missed one major thing, which is this Gradle. So Gradle is a build tool used to build the project, package the project, everything. So if at all you have any third-party libraries, or if at all you have any dependencies which you have to include in the project, so it will go here. And also for build related information, version code, version name, targeted SDK, will go little deeper into it. You remember we have defined the minimum SDK support version. That's 16 we defined initially. That is here. And we can also have targeted SDK version. Target SDK is it is recommended to target the latest version, or if you have any problems, if at all we want, the targeted version is nothing but whatever the development which happened for that particular API level, those will be applicable for this particular this particular project. That's targeted SDK. So that's about uh, Gradle. So Gradle, you'll see two different Gradle. One is at project level, another is at module level, app level. Right. So because we can also have multiple apps inside it. So we will we'll deal those things in the subsequent sessions. Okay, so just going to the PPT. Yeah, so okay, I haven't actually touched upon the emulator. So if you just see, okay, you have various other options, right? This is, I'm just quickly showing the options. So here if you just see, there is something called as AVD manager. AVD is Android Virtual Device Manager. That's the that's for emulator. So here if you just see, I have already created a virtual device, right? You can also create a virtual, that's pretty simple. So if you just see what is a virtual device you want, you can just select, I want a Pixel phone, size of this. You can mention the different sizes which are we want. There is something also density. That's a interesting one to understand when it comes to Android. But yeah, we have different densities. Phone has different densities. So different density and different resolutions. So I'll just select pixel, XXX HDPI, and then we can select the release, which release I want. I'll go with Marshmallow and then click on next. That's it. Finish. What? 1 minute. Got stuck. Okay, let it generate. mean I will go to the PPT. So this is what we have already looked into it. This is like creation of the project, and then once it is done we just have to click on run. Let me check whether it is done. No, it's not done. So once it is done, it's more like we are done with the hello world program, wherein it's more like we didn't do anything. We just clicked on, created a default empty project, and we just have to run. It still got stuck. Okay, it's done. It got created. Cool. So this is the one which we have created. Second one is what we have created. Okay, so now I can run the project. You just see this is, so here the virtual devices will get listed, and if at all I connect my own devices, even that will get listed. If I just click on, I will select the one which we have created now, click on next. Okay, not enough space in my device. Okay, I'll check that. Okay, that's it. You just run it and you're done with it. So yeah, we have covered this. By default we'll be having an activity, and then we need to create the view using the layout. Using strings.xml we will define the strings, and the most important heart of the Android Studio, out of the Android programming, which is nothing but Android manifest, which will give the blueprint. That's it. We have quickly have gone through what Android is, and we have created a default, as simple in the sense, by using the default values we just created a program. I think Gradle is finished. Gradle is the build tool, as in first it will do the compilation, and if there are any errors it will throw the compilation errors. Gradle is done, but my emulator, my storage has a problem, so we'll see in the next session by running the program. That's it. Thank you. Thanks a lot.